We're getting into a time in my life that's a little foggy, but I do have book reviews from the fall of 2012. And it started with the semester for my MBA program. We had a course on global business innovation, and there's 2 books to review from that period. So I'll start with the first one here. It's A Framework of International Business by S. Cavasgill, Gary Knight, and John Riesenberger. I gave it 3 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, and I said, my global business innovation instructor is one of the authors. That's Gary Knight. I found the text useful. The summaries and asides seem to be the most effective and interesting. It's really short, and we'll talk a little bit about why my reviews are short in this period in just a little bit. The other book was called Total Global Strategy. It's by George S. Yip and G. Thomas M. Holt. A lot of letters there. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars and said, this book was fine, but it's yet unfathomable to me how a text claiming to be most recently copyrighted in 2012 can make the statement, although the Microsoft Zune is gaining in popularity. I had questions before I read that statement in the book, and afterwards I discounted pretty much everything it purported. Yeah, I'll address this thing first. I mean, when you're in business school, there's going to be a lot of case studies, and I guess it's maybe journalistic in nature to think about the Zune gaining in popularity when the book was being written. But if it's in 2012, they should know that it was already dead at that point. And doing a case study about the Zune and its international ramifications is kind of ridiculous. So it was hard to take the book seriously with that. The other book was actually written by my instructor, so there were interesting things in there, but I don't really remember a whole lot, and that's because my life at the end of 2012 was totally crazy and chaotic. I was working 2 jobs. We had a 1-year-old in the house, and then my dad died in the November of that year during this semester of grad school, and it's a lot of it's a blur. I think the things that I would give to these texts is that they were not memorable. And it could be because of what was going on in my life. But if you think about what you go to a graduate program on business about, picking a lane, picking a discipline, maybe even picking a functional vertical to sort of study and specialize, I think could be really valuable. What I found in the MBA program is, especially with all the stuff that was flying around my life and the struggles that I had getting through semester to semester and all the tragedies that myself and my family were dealing with, classes like this that weren't really connected to my life at the time, international business, kind of just fell by the wayside in terms of my memory. I've already talked about in an earlier review when we were in the finance class, just sort of my ignorance to what it meant to do business internationally. And that class actually informed me more, taught me more about the things that were necessary to get there than this particular class. So these couple books, I don't know that I would recommend because they didn't have a profound impact on me in my knowledge of business. But again, I concede that there were factors in my life that were kind of getting in the way at that time. And that could be part of the reason too. So these 2 books, a 2-star and a 3-star on Goodreads for the International Business course at the MBA program at Willamette. I have a couple more semesters left. Actually, just 1 more semester after this, 1 more class for this semester, and then we're going to be done with the MBA books completely. And we can talk about a little bit more recreational reading and some of the more fun fiction type things going forward. So international business wasn't the most memorable of classes, but there were some environmental factors that made that happen. Till next.